unless that's your job profession and $20 is $20, you know, whatever gets you down the road. Alright, here we go again. Time for another solo overnighter in the woods. And this time we're going to bug out using the most advanced premium bug out bag that can be found on Amazon. Let's get to it. Alright, so this bug out kit right here is offered by the Denver Survival Company. And it is advertised as the most complete, most advanced, and most premium on Amazon. So, I thought, why not give her a shot? And let me tell you right now, this video is going to be extremely different because I have a buttload of gear. And because there's a lot of gear, I'm thinking the only logical way to do this would be to show you the gear and then break it down according to my 10 C's and talk about pros and cons and then test her out by spending the night. So just bear with me. Okay, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of pieces, a lot more equipment than I'm used to dealing with, but we're going to make it work. Let's go ahead and kick this off and talk about the backpack. I believe it's 900 denier, and they have the logo right here. Denver Survival Company's got their web address right there. Honestly, it's a glorified school backpack. You got some MOLLE webbing right here. You got side pouches or pockets. You got pockets here and on the inside. On the outside we have our standard chest strap right here, your loops to hang it or hold it. On the side you actually have a USB charging port, so I'm assuming on the inside somewhere is a place to plug that into a battery pack, and there it is. It's even got a spot here designated for a laptop. So all in all, I mean, it's not bad. It's standard school backpack, something some college kid would have or high school kid. So it's not bad, and it seems to be sturdy enough, so we can make this work. Another problem that I see with these bags is that a lot of people who put them together aren't in the industry. They aren't survival instructors. They just put things in there that are popular. A lot of them are gimmicks, and they don't really know what people need. They only hear what people want or what they think they want. And people don't know what they want until you give it to them. Make sense? Okay, so our primary cutting tool, our knife. We have this flip folder. Has the Denver Survival logo right here. I have no idea who makes this. It's 440C stainless steel. It's coated, half serrated, and weighs probably a couple ounces. So that part there is outstanding. It's also got a nub on the end here. If you had to break some glass, you could do that. I'm not happy with it being serrated, but it is what it is. You've all seen me work with less. Okay, so moving on to our saw. We have a key ring wire saw. In my opinion, these are garbage. I've watched these things heat up and break. I've watched these little clamps right here pop off. And in my opinion, this is a gimmick. This is a, I have no other option tool, and I have to use this. Alright, so our next cutting tool is an axe. It's about 19 inches. Fingertip to my elbow is about 19 inches. Weighs about 3 pounds, and it's made of Damascus steel. I don't like that. Sounds like glass. It's most likely very hard and brittle. I've seen knives break off. Beautiful design though. I actually love the Damascus steel designs on the knives and axes. They look great. They're just not effective in my opinion, and that's just my opinion. It's pinned right here on the sides, so hopefully that won't be a problem. There's a lot of defects on it. It's cheaply made, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and test her out. The main combustion device here is this 3-inch by 1/4 inch ferrocerium rod, and it does throw sparks, so that's a good thing. Now there's about 1, 2, 3 other forms of this in that kit, and we'll talk about those later. Those are more gimmicky than anything. This is the largest one, so I'm going to hold on to this. Okay, so there's no cordage of any kind in that pack. No jute twine, no rope, no bank line, with the exception of this paracord bracelet. And I'm judging by the size of it and the weave pattern, we're looking at probably about 20 feet at most. Got a small button compass right here, and behold, I give you a gimmick, a mini ferro rod. See if I can make this thing work. So it does work. But again, if you're defaulting to something like this, or this button compass right here, that can't give you much more than basic direction, north, east, south, and west, you done messed up somewhere in the past. This kit is very limited when it comes to containers. We have one metal container. That is this titanium 5 or 6 inch skillet. So can I boil water to disinfect it? Yes. But there's no way to store water, and that's depressing. This is it right here. So you're looking at the metal implement to boil water. Okay, so the next thing we have here is this 1 gallon water container. It's a collapsible plastic water container. And that's cool because I can store water. The real trick is getting the water inside the container. You got 2 options with this. Go down to the creek, fill it up, and then use this to boil inside this. Or option B, boil inside this and do a 1-for-1. Dump it inside here, go collect, boil. Dump it, collect, boil. And so on and so forth. And maybe you'll get 1 gallon of water. Now, the one piece of kit in there that I actually like is this 5-liter dry bag. So water can be collected inside this. Tinder can be stored inside this and keep it dry. There's a sleeping bag over there that I'm willing to bet can be stuffed inside here and kept dry as well. Or 2-way radios. Anything that has moving parts or requires batteries can be stored inside here. So this was thought out, and this is actually cool. Okay, so last of the 5 C's is our cover element. And there's 3 things here that will make up a shelter system. As far as cover goes, you want something to sleep under, something to sleep on, and something to sleep in. And combining all 3 of these, I think it works out well. First thing we have is a lightweight camouflage sleeping bag. The camo color is kind of an off camo color. We'll pull this out later, but you can see it right here. It's got a stuff sack, so it can be stuffed inside there and stowed away, or hung off and carried like this. The size of this is larger than a Swagman roll that I normally carry, but it's doable. And last but not least, it comes with a 1-man pop-up tent. So I'm kind of excited to see what this actually entails. Supposedly you just stick on the ground and it pops open. So we'll pull her out and take a look. So this compass right here resembles an old school pocket watch. It's like we're on the Polar Express, be like all aboard, but it's really cheap. We have a bezel ring that turns. Our degrees are called out in 20-meter increments, so it goes 20, 40, 60, 80. There is a red indicating line right here at the top that will give us our azimuth of where we want to go. And all I have to do is aim it in the direction that I want to travel. Simply look inside of my bezel ring and put these two dots on the outside of my needle, or place the needle in between those two dots. And that will give me my azimuth or bearing of the direction that I want to travel. Looking at this though, I notice when I spin this bezel ring, it tends to move the needle, and then the needle has to actually reset itself, so that could be a problem. You're talking, you want to walk, say 40 degrees, and you're really walking 50 degrees, you're going to go like this, right past where you want to go. This thing is really cheap. Let's start off with this flashlight right here. I have no idea what the lumens are. It's 1 magnification all the way up to 2000 magnification. And it's just a matter of sliding this back and forth. You can see it moving right there. It's also got a strobe on here, I believe. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. And if I had my choice, I would take this one. The next choice would be this lantern right here. It can be charged by solar, but the important thing on this is that it is a power bank as well. It can be charged up in the wall, and you have your USB port right here. Turn it this way is your flashlight, and then if you grab it right here and pull it upwards, so you can actually hang this from a tree. Now these two right here, I believe they take AAA batteries, and it's an LED bulb as well, but I've actually seen these things break, and you can hang them off of trees or hang them inside of your tent. There's a small hook inside that tent, but if I need light, I'm going to use this one right here. So here's the rest of the items. I'm going to put these in the categories of health and comfort, gimmicks, and food. This one right here we'll talk about separately, so I'll go ahead and remove it. We have two stoves right here. This one's stainless steel, and this one here is some type of powder coated metal, probably stainless as well. It's a cube stove. However, there are no fuel tabs to go on this, so in my opinion it's useless. We have a folding shovel that can actually be made to a different length, or you turn it into a knife as well. There's a small ferro rod inside here. Our gimmicks, we have this pocket tool with a small saw, blade, and assortment pieces here for areas for like wrenches and things like that. This is a gimmick. Here's my other LED light I promised you. A whistle and a Tacticool pen. Now we have two Bofang radios. These are nothing more than glorified walkie-talkies. The one thing that's cool about this is
power on. 16.
Channel 16 is a scanning channel, so it can scan the area for up to 2 miles if somebody else is out there talking. So that's kind of cool. Now we have this item right here, which is a radio. Best part is it's solar or crank operated. Now this right here is Denver Survival's version of a life straw. And it comes with a small plastic tube right here that can go on the bottom. You can also get a 2-liter bottle and thread it through there and actually invert it and drink right here. Or place it directly inside of a water source. So it's kind of cool. I'm assuming it's just like the life straw. However, there is no microns on here. It tells you the flow rate, how many gallons, 396, good for 5 years, and gets rid of 99.999 bacteria and 99.9 protozoa. So, in my opinion, it's probably just like the life straw. Now we have two Stowaway Gourmet dehydrated meals. These are the best, hands down. So one thing that was thought through and they partnered up with was Stowaway Gourmet, and I promise you'll love these. This sucks. This is those food ration bars. Says 9 servings, and we have 3 bars per day. So you're looking at 3 days of food right here. Plus these gives you about 5 days because these are 2 meals each. So yeah. And everybody's favorite, water packets. 4.225 fluid ounces. 1 bag per day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. That's an epic fail right there. Now I know I breezed through those items pretty quick, but I want to show you something. All these items here have their own purpose, but some should, in my opinion, work together, but they don't. And this falls back again on the research and development, or R&D people that come up with these kits. Now, we have this container we talked about earlier, and unless we're going to put dirty water in here, and once we put contaminated water in it, this whole thing is contaminated. We're going to have to boil water and dump it. Boil water, dump it. Boil water and dump it. Well, lo and behold, we have their version of the survival straw. So I go to a creek and just suck the water out of it. But doing that for a prolonged period of time, it becomes tiresome. Unless that's your job profession, and $20 is $20, you know, whatever gets you down the road. Normal people who aren't into that are going to have a hard time with this. So you'd think, well, I have the straw. How about this? We collect the dirty water in here. Then we can attach the straw to here. And then take the straw to this valve right here. And we can, in a sense, filter our water on this end over here. It's a good idea. But this straw does not fit inside or over this nipple right here. So it defaults back to what we talked about. Boiling water, dumping it inside here, or sitting down at the creek all day. Take your pick. In every single bag I've ever seen that's available to the public, being a earthquake kit, survival bag, or in this case a bug out bag, the most over-engineered, overly complex, and the item that takes up the most room has always been a first aid kit. And almost every single time you open it and there's 50 alcohol swabs, there's 50 band-aids, there's all these things that are for minor cuts and scrapes. Every once in a while you get a actual, say, one of those bandages like for an eye patch. You'll find some type of breathing apparatus. You'll find slings, gauze pads, trauma pads, things like that. But most of them, not all, but most of them, in something like this, they lack one thing. Guess what it is? Drum roll. Tourniquets. And here's my take on a medical kit. I didn't carry one for years, and a lot of people would try to bust me on it. And here's why. People say, well, you're going to get cut out in the field, you're going to get infected. You could get infected. It has a lot to do with your immune system, and if there's anything on that branch or piece of metal to cause an infection. Let's say you do get infected. My take is, do you want to, or will you live 3, 4, 5 days, 2 weeks, maybe even a month with an infection that your body's fighting? Or cut your leg or arm deep enough to where you bleed out in 3 to 5 minutes or less when you could have put a tourniquet on there. If I have to carry one item in a medical bag or a first aid kit, I want to make sure it's a tourniquet. Tastes like a Tijuana toilet, but I drink water for what it is. All right, here we go. Bison beer, black bean chili. Tell you what, Stowaway Gourmets, baby. Just missing some sour cream, Tabasco, maybe some chips or crackers, cornbread. There we go. Don't forget our complimentary packaged water. So far with this kit, with this bug out bag, I see the potential. I see what somebody tried to do. I see what they wanted to do. I see what their intent was. I just feel that doing this for about 13 years, there's an easier way to approach this that would probably be less than $500. Yes, the bag costs $500. It's not good, in my opinion. For half of that, maybe even a third of that, you can get quality items. So tomorrow we'll go ahead and talk through this whole thing right here. I got a bunch of mental notes. I'll go ahead and transfer those mental notes into paper or onto paper, and then we'll talk about it in the morning. Okay, so here we are. We're inside the tent. Plenty of room. We're about 3.5 feet wide by about 6.5 feet in length. So I'm touching the back wall with my boots on, and my head is touching right here. So laying diagonal, it's probably about 7 foot, and that's what I'll be doing tonight. Nice view right there, that fire. I'm digging it. So haven't been in a tent in a long time, so looking forward to this. With that, I'm going to enjoy my fire, enjoy my view, catch you all in the morning. Yeah, that was a different night's sleep. Tell you what, actually a little bit colder because the fire was out here. So tents are cool, but then they're not cool. Coffee time. The tent wasn't bad. Does it leak? I have no idea. It didn't rain. But was it cozy in there? Did it trap some body heat? Yes. Was it nice for one person plus gear? Yes. Perfect. Did it pop up in seconds? Yes. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. But the things I'm not happy with, and I did this on purpose. I drank the water because I wanted to show you that how do I travel with water now? I can't. I'm SOL on any type of canteen or container. I could not disinfect water with me and bring it unless I'm going to carry it in this 1-gallon container, walking around lugging it through the woods. Not a good concept. Ferro rods, there's 4 ferro rods. There's a gimmick shoelace one, there's one that came with the shovel, there's one on my friendship bracelet, and there's that main 1/4 inch by 3 inch rod. My suggestion, put a lighter in there for that instant gratification. A metal container, something I can boil in and carry water with me. Cordage. A bracelet is cool, but once you take it apart, now I have a big matted mess. There's no tarp. What if this did leak? How do I rig a tarp over top of me? How do I protect my gear or firewood? Things like that, in my opinion, should have been addressed. And a lot of this needless crap that adds extra weight could have been left at home. 5 flashlights, 1 good headlamp, and maybe a smaller lantern for the tent. Perfect. The radio, yes, if you want to find out what's going on back in the world, cool. The Bofang walkie-talkies, unless you have 2 people, walkie-talkies are useless. Could have been an actual radio that you could dial in frequencies and actually listen in. Not necessarily a police scanner, but something to that effect. For $500, I'm disappointed. It's not to trash anybody's company or talk crap about anyone. I feel I could have done a lot better with probably half that amount and got a lot more quality items. An example was that crap knife, that crappy wire saw, and a Damascus steel axe. This thing will break, guarantee, in the next 1 or 2 uses. The wire saw actually broke. So So a good folding saw would be probably a quarter of the weight. Give you a nice 9 to 10 inch blade, and I could have been stacking firewood all night instead of breaking it off in a wide branch. And there you go, solo overnight using the most complete, most advanced, and most premium bug out bag on Amazon. You decide, leave me a comment. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. One, my Amazon influencer page, and 2, my Self-Reliance Outfitters influencer page. If you're interested in Corporals Corner merchandise, that can be found on Teespring. All 3 links are found inside my description box. Now please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time. Well, it's good for something. Take that, Mel Gibson.